Hey everyone, it's David here from Freedom Patterns. Topic today is burning out. Saw a post in a thread in a dental forum not too many days ago regarding the fact that a lot of professional practice owners, and I think it falls true for a lot of small business owners, that the passion in which they entered their chosen career, practice, business, that passion seems to wane after some number of years, and there comes a point where some people don't like what they do, they don't like the constructs, they really just lost the drive that took them from the academic and licensing and credentialing to the actual practice or the career that they chose. I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think that anybody who does the same thing over and over again without evolving in that pathway can lead to burnout. What do I mean by that? Well, the frameworks of going to school to learn a skill, a specific skill, a technical skill, expertise, very, very specialized, is a great thing because it makes you valuable in that particular arena. That's good. The problem is that everything falls on your shoulders to do that thing. The doing of the thing, being the technician, as Michael Gerber would call it, is where sometimes the conundrum comes in. We need people to do the thing, learning to do something with special expertise, with high value that provides assistance, help, makes other people's lives better. There's great satisfaction in that. But again, doing that same thing year after year after year and having to deal with all of the other aspects of any business, that's a heavy, heavy load. What I found in my own life, and what I think fits for a lot of other people, not everybody, but for a majority, is that you've got to look at your life, your career, your business as something that happens in stages. And probably for the first number of years when you get out of school, then you're doing that thing that you learn how to do. It's a challenge because you're learning to do it better. You're learning to do it with efficiency, with more expertise. When you get out of school, you really are still in a learning mode. But after some time, you get pretty good at the rank and file. And it becomes a little bit mundane. So what do? Well, you go and you increase your capacity, your capabilities in that expertise. You get continuing education. You learn to do more, better, higher level, more intricate. And that can also last for a while. But that still puts a burden on you as the sole provider of that service. And so that goes on for a while. And then it's like, okay, I'm still not happy and not satisfied. There's got to be more. And if you don't move to the next level, and I can't tell you what that is because you have to determine that for yourself. But the way you do that is you've got to get outside the box. You've got to get outside the construct of your particular space. In fact, you've got to get outside your industry. Let me just say it that way. Because whatever industry you're in, it's going to limit you to what that industry says you should be. Just like society often defines success for a lot of people, for the majority. And that success is not a good definition. It's about materialism. It's about a certain amount of money. Yeah, those things are important, but there's never going to be enough of that. In fact, people that strive to have more and more bigger lives, more money, chase the almighty dollar, they're never satisfied. That's what burns people out. So determining what your real why is in life, why you do what you do, it's going to usually take you to elevate to another level. Again, you don't have to go take yourself away from doing what you do, the expertise, but maybe lessening that, maybe taking that down to a lower percentage and only focusing on the key things in that expertise that you really love to do with the people you love to do it with. And maybe you become a higher power, a higher achiever, a better leader, a visionary, somebody who sees a bigger picture. You solve problems on a higher level, not just in the thing that you've learned to do, but you learn how to solve other problems in other ways. That's what I had to learn to do some years ago when my daughter Jenna's health pushed me out of that box I was living in. And I wasn't at burnout, but I know I wasn't totally satisfied there, so it was a good thing for me. What's going to be your driver? What's going to move you to the next level? You've got to learn to become comfortable being uncomfortable. Again, I don't mean to chase something that's not real, but getting inside yourself and determining what is it that makes me tick. What at the end of the day is going to be what I'm going to look back on and say, that is why I did what I did. That's a key thing you've got to learn how to answer, and I can't answer it for you, but you've got to challenge yourself. You've got to get in other groups outside your industry, mastermind groups, thought leader groups, people that are going to push you to a higher level. It sounds a little amorphous, but I'm telling you, the best thing you can do, start on that pathway. You'll find it'll start to lead you to the next, and then you'll find who you really are, because who you are, what you're doing right now, probably isn't the end game for you. That's just a tip for me. Remember, always stay focused on your freedom, and I'll see you next time.